these PII removal services like Incogni is probably one you've seen. Yeah. DeleteMe is another one that you've seen, most likely, if you've been on YouTube or listened to podcasts or whatever. So what these services are looking to do is they go to these data brokers and they supposedly put in these opt-out clauses on your behalf. And when they submit that data, these data brokers are supposedly legally required to go and delete your data from their repositories, and they're not allowed to sell it anymore. And their value prop or their pitch that they give in these ads on YouTube is, hey, this is an extremely laborious process. We'll automate that for you. Give us some money every month and we'll just continue to do it. And we'll keep sending all this stuff to these data brokers so your data doesn't exist out there. That's the value prop. Sounds really great. Oh man, I don't have to go and target all these like however many 700, 1,000, 2,000 data brokers that are out there and send them emails every month to get them to remove my data. Won't get calls anymore. Awesome. Well, yeah, it's one of those things where what they're selling is a service, but the efficacy of said service is debatable, like heavily debatable. I've got a lot of stats here that I find quite interesting regarding that.
Give it to us.
So one, I'm going to, another thing regarding the whole privacy concern is when you sign up for these services, they're going to ask you for a couple of things. First name, last name, city, address, where you live, potentially things like your Facebook account, LinkedIn account.
They become the data broker.
Yeah, very similar. They ask you, and it's under the guise that they need that to send to the data brokers to have them remove it, right? So submit all this PII data to me, and then we will take that and we'll send that as a request to remove it from the data brokers. Well, so I'm going to give one quick stat on the success rate, and it's already shocking, but the stats following this, I think, even lean more to, oh my God, what are these people doing, or why do they charge this much? So the success rate for these companies, and this is off of a research paper that I pulled,
and we're going to put a link to that in the description.
Yep, I actually got it right here. Measuring the accuracy and effectiveness of PII removal services. This was done by a combination of like 4 different colleges, like London. I think there was one in Hong Kong, and then there was one here in the United States. It was a group of 4 or 5 students that came together to do this, and the way that they brought their data is they had 74 participants, so that they recruited. So people would go out, and then there are, I think, 10 different, there was 10 different services that were included in the study. And then there was 2,024 data brokers that they cataloged within the study. They had the participants sign up for the different services, so like Incogni or Oply, Aura, all these different ones, and then basically had them use the service for a number of months and then recorded the accuracy of the data in which they received back from these companies. So the success rate, according to this study, was 48.2%. So that's when they submitted it, and these PII removal services coming back with their reports saying what they were able to remove and what they weren't able to remove. On average, the success rate was 48.2%. So less than half of the time of 72 participants were they actually able to get the data brokers to remove data from their service. Now, here's the second thing that I find interesting, which makes these companies even less credible: the accuracy percentage. The accuracy of the PII data that was actually removed was only 41.1%.
So what does that mean?
So accuracy. So this is the interesting thing. When you submit all of that data, right? You are outside of, in this room, I'm not saying this, but to be mean, but I probably have the most unique name in here. There's not very many people with the name Brazos, but Mario, very common name.
Oh, John, so what you're saying is the data that they were actually trying to remove did not necessarily belong
to the user.
The
user.
Yeah, so I could actually attest to that a little bit. So I actually I just, for my own knowledge, I have Incogni and I've used Aura. Aura was just overall a disappointment. Incogni is about the same. Where did it go? I had a thing I was going to, there it is. So yeah, so Incogni will actually alert you and say, hey, there's these other profiles that are very closely related to yours. Is this actually you? And you look at some of these names, like, so there's a, what was this, Tate Valdis? Like, it's not even Valdis, it's Vladis. Yeah. So like these are obviously not me. And it's like, for the amount of information you have to give these people, there should be no like discernment needed on, like, I shouldn't have to pick if this is me or not. It's obviously not. Yeah. So what are you doing with this data?
So when you're talking about a success rate of 4, and these are two independent stats, so a success rate of 48.2% combined with an accuracy rate of 41.1%,
hot garbage.
It's not very good. Yeah. And the thing about is, okay, well, let's say you are John, who lives in Texas. Well, how many Johns live in Texas or Dallas or Houston or Austin, right? So whenever they go and pull that, and a lot of these services, they don't give you the full record whenever it says, hey, we found something. So it's hard to validate if it's even your record. Yeah, you may have removed 100 records, but how many of those were actually yours?
40%.
Yeah, 40%.
And it's great because going through all this, like, Incogni just gives you the addresses of these strangers that I have no idea who these people are. So it's like, me as a security professional, I know how to go look up who these people are. That's terrible. You shouldn't do that.
Well, and that's one of the things about the data broker industry as a whole is that, yes, most of the time these things are being used for like advertising and marketing, but there is a malicious aspect of that where if an attacker goes and they pay for these data broker services, they can go and get a lot of information about you. And I know we say AI stuff on this channel a lot, but whenever you're talking about building profiles and stories and being able to successfully phish someone, there is a huge data lake out there that, you know, for a couple of dollars, you can go and build some pretty dang convincing profiles about these people that exist. Another very interesting regarding the data brokers is, out of these 10 different organizations, the overlap on the data brokers that they actually query is super low. So what does that mean? Why is that a problem? It means that basically their efficacy rate is already super bad, but not only that, but to be really effective, you would have to get multiple, because the amount that they're checking are all different. Yeah. And the thing about data brokers is that there's not a lot of legal requirements to denote yourself as a data broker. Some